I was reviewing Q3 projections when my phone buzzed. A text from Richard, my stepfather. I almost ignored it. His messages were usually complaints about money or thinly veiled demands for family support, but this one made my blood freeze. Liquidate the company and distribute assets to family. You have 48 hours, or your baby's daycare gets a visit. Below the text were 3 photos. Little Scholars Daycare on Maple Street, the front entrance, the playground where 6-month-old Sophie spent her mornings, a close-up of the security keypad by the door. My hands shook, not from fear, from rage. I took screenshots, then I opened the family group chat. Richard had started 6 months ago, right after he married my mother. 23 members, aunts, uncles, cousins, siblings. The messages were already flowing. Richard gave her the ultimatum. She'll cave. Mom, do what you need to do, sweetheart. She's been selfish long enough. My brother Kevin, smart move. Hit her where it hurts. Aunt Patricia, about time someone got tough with her. Cousin Melissa, she owes this family. Dad would have wanted us all taken care of. I screenshotted everything, every message, every endorsement of threatening my infant daughter. Then I forwarded all of it, the threat, the photos, the group chat screenshots to one email address, legal@nexusmed.com. Subject line: urgent criminal threat against CEO and dependent child. I pressed send at 2:47 p.m. At 2:51 p.m., my phone rang. Catherine Morrison, our general counsel. I just saw your email, she said, her voice tight. Are you safe? Is Sophie safe? We're fine. I'm at the office. Sophie's at daycare with normal security. Not anymore. I'm dispatching our security team to that location immediately. 2 former Secret Service agents. They'll be there in 15 minutes. I heard typing. I'm also briefing board leadership right now. This is a credible threat against our CEO and her child. The board needs to know. Catherine, it's just family drama. It's criminal extortion and child endangerment. She cut me off. You're the CEO of a publicly traded company with 800 employees. We take threats against executives seriously. Stand by. She hung up. I sat at my desk, staring at my phone. The family group chat was still going. Uncle Tom, when she liquidates, what's our cut? Richard equal distribution. 12 million divided by family members. Sister Lauren, finally, she's been hoarding Dad's legacy. They had it all planned. They actually believed threatening Sophie would work. My father had started Nexus Med as a small medical supply distributor. When I joined after college, we had 6 employees and $800,000 in annual revenue. Over 12 years, I'd grown it into a medical device manufacturer with contracts across 43 hospital networks. Last year's revenue, $127 million. We'd gone public 18 months ago. Current market cap, $340 million. And they thought I'd liquidate it because Richard sent threatening texts. My office door opened. Catherine walked in with 2 others, James Holland, our chief security officer, and Barbara Winters, board chair. Show us everything, Barbara said. I pulled up the texts on my computer monitor, the photos of Sophie's daycare, the group chat endorsing the threats. James was already on his phone. Maple Street location secured. 2 agents on site. Daycare director has been briefed. No one enters or exits without verification. Barbara's face had gone pale. He threatened a 6-month-old baby to force a business liquidation, and 22 family members endorsed it in writing. Catherine added, scrolling through the group chat screenshots. This isn't one person making a stupid threat. This is a conspiracy. We need to convene the full board, Barbara said. Emergency session, now. Within 30 minutes, I was sitting in our main conference room. The video screen showed 14 faces, board members joining from New York, Boston, Chicago, San Francisco. Barbara sat at the head of the table in person. 15 board members total, all of them looking at the evidence displayed on the screen. Catherine presented first. At 2:47 p.m. today, our CEO received this text message from her stepfather, Richard Castellano. She clicked through the images. As you can see, he's threatening her infant daughter's daycare, unless she liquidates Nexus Med and distributes assets to family members. Board member David Park leaned forward on his video feed. He's demanding she destroy a $340 million public company. Correct. And as you'll see in these group chat messages, he's coordinated this threat with 22 family members, who are endorsing the action and discussing their expected payouts. The chat messages scrolled across the screen. I watched the board members' faces darken. "This is extortion," said board member Linda Okafor, a former federal prosecutor, "and child endangerment, possibly stalking, given the surveillance photos." James spoke next. "Security assessment. The threat is credible. The subject has conducted physical surveillance of the daycare location. He has detailed photos showing entry points and security measures. He's demonstrated capability and intent." "What's our response protocol?" Barbara asked. Catherine had a document ready. "Immediate actions already taken. Security detail deployed to protect the child. Next steps recommended. File criminal complaints with the county prosecutor's office. Obtain emergency restraining orders against all 23 subjects. Engage private security for CEO and family for minimum 60 days, and full cooperation with law enforcement." "Cost estimate?" asked board member Michael Torres. "Security detail. Approximately $45,000 monthly. Legal fees for restraining orders and criminal consultation, $30,000. Total immediate outlay, $75,000. "That's nothing," Barbara said flatly. "Our CEO and her child were threatened. We spend that protecting the company." Linda's voice came through the speakers. "I want to be clear on the legal exposure here. If something happens to that child or to our CEO, and we didn't take every reasonable precaution, the company faces massive liability. Beyond that, we have a fiduciary duty to protect company leadership from threats. This is textbook corporate governance." "Agreed," said another board member. "We need to hit this hard and fast." Barbara looked at me. "How are you holding up?" "I'm angry," I said honestly, "but I'm fine. Sophie's safe. That's what matters." "We're going to keep her safe," Barbara said, "and we're going to make sure these people face consequences." The vote was unanimous. Full security deployment, criminal complaints filed, corporate resources committed. The meeting ended at 4:23 p.m. By 5 p.m., I was at Little Scholars Daycare. 2 men in suits stood near the entrance. James' security team. They nodded as I approached. Inside, the director, Mrs. Palmer, was waiting. "Miss Andrews, I want you to know, we've upgraded our protocols. No one picks up Sophie except you, or people on your pre-approved list. Verified with photo ID. Our exterior cameras are now monitored by your company's security team in real time." "Thank you," I said. "I'm sorry this is happening. Your daughter's safety is our priority," she said firmly. "Always has been." I picked up Sophie from her crib. She smiled at me, completely unaware that her grandmother's husband had threatened her that morning. I held her close, breathing in that baby smell. My phone buzzed. The family group chat. "Richard, why aren't you responding? Time's running out. Mom's sweetheart. Just do what's right. Family comes first. Kevin, don't be stupid about this." I typed one message. "Everything you've sent has been forwarded to law enforcement and our corporate legal team. Do not contact me again." Then I muted the chat. At 6:30 p.m., Catherine called. "County prosecutor's office has reviewed the evidence. They're filing charges tomorrow morning. Terroristic threatening, stalking, attempted extortion. Warrants will be issued for Richard's arrest." "What about the others?" "The ones in the group chat. Prosecutor is reviewing for conspiracy charges. 22 people endorsed a threat against an infant in writing. That's evidence of agreement to commit a crime." I exhaled slowly. "Good. There's more. We've also filed emergency restraining orders. None of them can come within 500 feet of you, Sophie, your home, or the daycare. Violation means immediate arrest." That night, I sat in Sophie's nursery, watching her sleep. The security detail was parked outside my house. 2 agents in an unmarked car, monitoring all approaches. My phone buzzed with texts from family members I hadn't heard from in years. "You're overreacting. He was just trying to negotiate. You're really going to put Richard in jail over this." I blocked every number. The next morning, I was back at the office when Catherine walked in with James. "Richard was arrested at 6 a.m., she said. "Bail hearing is this afternoon. Prosecutor is arguing he's a flight risk and a danger to the child." "Will he get bail?" "Unlikely. Judge Crawford is hearing the case. She has grandchildren. She doesn't take kindly to infant threats." James pulled out his tablet. "We've also identified something interesting. Richard's been surveilling the daycare for at least 3 weeks. We pulled traffic camera footage from the area. His car appears on Maple Street 14 times in the past month, always during Sophie's drop-off or pickup times. 14 times, my stomach turned. He was building a pattern analysis, learning the routine. This wasn't a spontaneous threat, it was planned. That made it worse somehow. The premeditation, the calculation. Barbara called an update meeting that afternoon. More board members joined in person this time. They were flying in for our scheduled quarterly meeting, but several arrived early. Status update, Barbara began. Richard Castellano is in custody, bail denied. County prosecutor has indicated they're pursuing the strongest possible charges. We've also been contacted by the FBI. FBI? I asked. Linda nodded on the video screen. Interstate extortion. Richard sent threats via text message that crossed state lines. Technically, FBI can assert jurisdiction if they want. And given the target is the CEO of a public company, they're interested. How's the company responding publicly? Asked another board member. We haven't issued any statements, Catherine said. This is being treated as a personal threat against an executive, not a company matter. We're cooperating fully with law enforcement but maintaining operational security. Good, Barbara said. The last thing we need is market speculation about CEO safety. The meeting continued. Business updates, financial projections, Q4 strategies. Life moved forward, even as my family imploded behind me. That evening my mother called. I almost didn't answer. How could you? She said immediately. Richard is in jail. They're saying he might face 5 years. He threatened Sophie. He was just trying to get your attention. You've been ignoring the family for years. He photographed my baby's daycare and said it would get a visits unless I destroyed my company. That's not what he meant. That's exactly what he meant, Mom. And you endorsed it, in writing. In a group chat with 22 other people. Silence. The prosecutor has all those messages, I continued. Every one of you who said smart move, or do what you need to do, might face conspiracy charges. You wouldn't. I didn't do anything. You all did it to yourselves. You put it in writing. We're family. You stopped being family when you threatened my daughter. I hung up. 3 weeks later, Richard pleaded guilty to terroristic threatening and stalking. The prosecutor dropped the extortion charge in exchange for the plea. He was sentenced to 3 years. 4 family members, including my mother, were charged with conspiracy to commit extortion. They took plea deals, probation, fines, mandatory restraining orders. The rest of the family scattered. Some tried to apologize. Most just disappeared from my life entirely. Sophie turned 7 months old. She started crawling. She laughed at everything. She had no idea her grandmother's husband had tried to use her as leverage, and she never would. The security detail stayed for 3 months, then scaled back to periodic checks. James's team updated all our home and daycare security systems, company expense, board approved. Nexus Med stock continued climbing. We signed 2 new hospital contracts. Revenue projections exceeded expectations. At the next board meeting, Barbara pulled me aside. How are you doing? Really, better, I said. Sophie's safe. The business is strong. That's what matters. Your family isn't my family anymore. They made their choice. She nodded. The board wants you to know something. What you did forwarding that evidence immediately, protecting the company's interests while protecting your child. That was exactly right. You didn't let emotion cloud your judgment. You acted like a CEO should. I acted like a mother should. I corrected. The CEO part was secondary. Maybe. But not every CEO would have kept that clear-headed. We're glad you're leading this company. That night, I rocked Sophie to sleep in her nursery. No security detail outside, no threats hanging over us, just a mother and her baby, safe and sound. My phone sat silent on the dresser. No family group chat, no demands, no threats, just peace. Richard's smart negotiation had gotten him 3 years in prison and a permanent criminal record. Mom's endorsement had gotten her a conspiracy conviction and a restraining order keeping her from her granddaughter. And I still ran Nexus Med, still grew the business, still protected what my father built and what I'd expanded. They'd wanted me to liquidate everything and hand them millions. Instead, they'd lost everything, including the chance to watch Sophie grow up. Some negotiations, I thought, don't go the way you plan.